Okay, so the first question is, so I'm really intrigued by the name of the show. Can you tell us the meaning of Barzakh in your words and your initial thoughts when you first read the script?
Barzakh means limbo, a place where the souls go past to after they die and before they go to either hell or heaven. It is also interpreted as a veil between this world and the next world. So the parda, or the barrier that keeps us humans away from the souls in that realm. Um, Barzakh is a really interesting word that I somehow happen to know the meaning of, although a lot of people didn't. I just found it interesting that Asim had picked this name because we often find ourselves in a state of limbo. There are moments in life when we feel stuck, when we don't know if we're going right, left, aage, piche. But that's a really important moment to kind of, look internally and find answers to where you're headed, where your life is headed, what you want to do, and really connect with yourself. So, it was important to recognize and appreciate that state of limbo instead of always thinking it as a negative term. And B, when people die, and we've all lost people that we're very close to, um, there is a curiosity as to where do the souls go, and if they're waiting in Barzakh, is there any access to Barzakh, or will we all meet in Barzakh before our destiny is then decided, or whatever each one's belief is. But we all definitely agree that when we die, we become our souls go somewhere. So the curiosity of where the souls go, which is why Asim also started with Barzakh. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Okay, so the story revolves around a 76-year-old man's unexpected announcement about his wedding, and the trailer also suggests supernatural elements to the show. How does that impact the dynamics portrayed in the series and kind of the lead up to the event?
Sorry, can you repeat that? The 76-year-old is wanting to marry, so the element of supernaturalism we're discussing here?
I think what it means is just the bizarreness of the whole reason that these
Um,
people gather and how does that impact the storyline.
say. Um, so the fact that the main or the protagonist, or the whole show revolves around, yes, this 76-year-old man who wants to marry the love of his life who had passed on to the other world. I think that's really interesting in itself. And like I said from my previous answer, the curiosity of will we meet the souls of the people that we've lost? And in Barzakh, there's this lunar eclipse that happens this night, when the belief is that the souls will rise. And so Salman Shahid's character, he really wants to take advantage of that night, and he says, you know what, to hell with it, I'm actually going to go meet her. And not am I going to go meet her in private, I'm going to get married to her, because he's just an odd man like that. And he calls his entire family that he hasn't met in a long time, and it's kind of sweet in a way that he obviously wants his children and his loved ones to be with him when he goes to finally reunite with the love of his life. The supernatural element is that, is she alive? Is she dead? Is it her soul that he'll meet? Is he going to the top to die? Will the other souls come back? Who is Shazad? Is she from that world or this world? I think all these questions arise, and it makes for a more interesting story, which is basically a family drama. But the way Asim has intertwined this element of supernaturalism in it makes it all the more intriguing.
Yeah. Barzakh also poses the question, when all has withered, where will love endure? So, how does the series kind of sort of explore that idea in the show?
Yeah, I also wanted to ask Asim why this tagline is used everywhere. Because when for me it was, if things fall apart, does that mean love is also khatam? Has that also fallen apart? Have you forgotten about that? So withering away is like leaves wither away, humans wither away with age or with death. Our bodies decompose into the soil, and then, but that the decomposition of the body then becomes food for the leaves, which then grow into, makes good fertile soil for the trees. And so and that is a form of love and blossoming and spring, but it comes from death. So I think, and that's one of the themes that my character Shazad talks about, is that it's the circle of life. And I think in this phrase, when all withers away, will love endure, is that it doesn't have to end when everything withers away. You know, there's rebirth, and that rebirth comes from a place of love.
Okay, yeah. So while talking about your character, Shazad, there's a sort of mysteriousness around her, but also it's evident that it's very significant to the story. So can you just explain how, like, the kind of impact the character has to the central storyline?
Because Shahrazad is, I'll give everything away, but again, sorry, but my answer is very repetitive only because I'm trying not to give things away, is that my character is from this world and that world. How and what do I mean by that? You'll see when you see Barzakh. She is the reason why. She's the reason of hope. She's the voice of reason for pacifying everyone when everyone gets too heated up or upset about certain things that JJ Salman's character has done. Shahrazad is the one that goes and pacifies them. Shahrazad is the outlier in many ways. She's the binder, she's the glue, she's the messenger. And if Shahrazad didn't exist, a lot of things that happened in the story wouldn't have been possible. And she's the driving force behind. She's Salman Shahid's basically right-hand person. So she's really his biggest support system, and it's because she is there that she's able to bring the rest of the family together. But once you all see this, then I guess I'd be able to answer this differently.
Yeah. So, like, in real life, is there any relatable factor that you feel like you connect to with her character, or something that you maybe like found challenging in terms of portraying Shahrazad?
Yeah, I'm a peacemaker. I like to try and help resolve people's problems, and I like to be a voice for the voiceless. So they're usually issues are very easily amendable or very easily resolvable, but people don't communicate enough because the ego is too strong, or they're too scared, or they're unsure. So just like Shahrazad, I'd like to think that that's how I am. I like to be a voice of reason. I like to help people resolve things, give them hope, give them a sense of support. But I'm also quite reserved and quiet, and I stay in the sidelines more often than being in the spotlight, which is how Shahrazad operates. She definitely operates from the sidelines, and that's my method to.
Yeah. Okay, so how was it like working with the cast of Barzakh? Especially, we have to ask this, Fawad Khan, given that you two are reuniting after almost a decade.
Allah, I was really. One second. It's okay if they're all my answers are the same now. Acha. It was an absolute honor working with Salman Shahid. He made us value our roles as actors, value our craft, respect our craft, because he would never forget a line. He would always be on time. He had huge monologues. His stamina was insane. He didn't take anyone's help while climbing up the mountain. So these are all it's amazing to have when you have a senior actor on set with you. They're just all the more reason to be inspired by and look up to and want to be like them. In terms of my other co-actors, Fawad Afzal Khan, that you all know, and Fawad Khan, that I know from theatre, they're both phenomenal actors. They question the craft, they question the director, I question the director. So we really dig into our characters, take them very seriously, and respectfully give each other that space to explore our characters and each other. And so that's always a treat to work with actors that are selfless instead of selfish. And then the whole other support, the children were so sweet to work with. The children were so exciting. Everyone is really conscious of this project being very special to Asim. We were all conscious of the fact that it was a difficult project we were doing in terms of the genre, the story, the locations. So everyone brought their A game and was very professional, disciplined, respectful. And we all gave each other room to explore our characters without, getting annoyed or rolling our eyes or making fun of each other. That tends to happen sometimes, but I think everyone gave each other that space to be serious. In terms of Fawad, there's that unsaid trust and bond that has definitely existed throughout. Like, this is the first time we're working after 11 years, but we kind of, our rapport kind of picked up from where we left off from. And that was really nice to still be able to have that chemistry, no matter what relationship we are portraying, and to still have that mutual respect and camaraderie when performing with each other or sharing the scene together.
Yes. Okay, so what message do you think that the audiences should take away from Barzakh?
Married their first love. So you see that I've always remembered seeing this beautiful bond between my grandparents and other people's grandparents. But also there have been times when I've, spoken to older people and they reminisce about somebody they once loved once upon a time before they got married. So I thought that was really sweet, and it just reminds me of how valuable the older generation's life experiences are and how we have so much to learn from them. And also because there's a lot of family feud that takes place in this series. And it was another reminder of how pointless it is to fight with siblings, because there's such an important integral part of your childhood, of who you are, of you. And to be at war with a sibling is just so pointless. It's just a battle of egos and a waste of time. I think this and respecting the dead and their space. These would be my takeaways.
Okay, that's great.